Good evening, everybody. We've got here another 1v1, this time between Jordan and TheMax. And we do have, in the blue, TheMax is playing as the Indians. Very strong cavalry civilization with great economy. And then when we take a look in the red, it is Jordan playing as the Huns in the red. So taking a quick glance at their maps, pretty open on the front for Jordan. He does have forward golds for one forward stone, but he does have safe berries in the back. And his third gold is pretty awkward to protect there. We will likely see him just do a quick wall into the town center. Will be unlikely that he is walling off this entire front of the base, although not unheard of. Taking a look at TheMax's base, he is already starting to push in some of his deer before he's even found all of his goats, so a bit of a aggressive deer push there. But a lot more closed off of a map. Easy quick walls could be done. He does have a safe main back gold, safe berries, and a safe stone. Definitely a map advantage for TheMax. And of course, Jordan coming forward, seeing if he can get any sort of laming, anything out there. He does see this villager, but the villager is walled in time. Obviously, both these players being fast enough to negate any of those issues. So what can we expect? Well, of course, the typical long-term choice for a Huns versus Indian map. Of course, Huns will want to go for cavalry, and Indians, being an anti-cavalry civilization, would have some sort of an advantage. However, with the cavalry archers that we could expect, or just straight up archers from the Hun player, that will be less of an advantage for the Indian players. I think the biggest advantage the Indians are going to have is their economy at this point in time, with the cheaper villagers able to collect that up a little bit faster. And both players are up to the feudal age in very, very similar times. Neither one going for a drush to begin with, but starting wall-offs, TheMax deciding rather than walling in his base, he is going to go for a little quick wall over top of his wood lines. He is dropping his first barracks, so he will start to work towards that wood line. In the meantime, Jordan playing it safe as well, just starting a little bit of a wall off, but not wasting any time of his economy. Both players now into the next age, and right off the bat, the Hun player dropping a stable, and in response, the Indian player also dropping a stable. So we will see scouts battling it out once against each other, and interesting to see who will have the advantage to begin with. Looks like both players will be adding in a spearman, I'm sure, as Jordan's is already moving forward and TheMax just a little bit slower with his first spearman coming out. He will be looking to be a bit more defensive with his spear, as TheMax is going to be attacked by Jordan as his two scouts and spear. Militarily, both the players fairly similar in the sense that Jordan does have to run so far forward in order to engage, but both with 5 military, both losing a scout there, so 4 and 4 will keep it fairly even. Villager-wise, they are very, very even, and that's a great engagement there early on for Max to get that hill advantage, get those extra couple of hits. He does lose a scout, but there is a very weak scout with low HP for Jordan. 5 military for both players now, as the scouts are starting to mass up as much as possible. Jordan, of course, being the aggressor, having to run further across the map in order to engage against TheMax. But TheMax leaving his base a little bit defenseless right now. He will be able to wall in very safely behind this, and just one spear will be enough to scare away these 4 scouts, especially with that one weak HP scout. But there are 3 scouts now for TheMax going out trying to get some eco damage where they can. I I am interested to see if they will be able to pick anything off. This spear will be able to cut them off before they can do any damage to this wood line. However, only one spear will be able to be microed away fairly quickly, as the berries and farm are very open right now. These 3 scouts not doing any attacking right now, as the first archer has come forward for Jordan, and that forces a exodus of the wood line for the Max. Max unable to have done too much damage, if any at all, with his 3 scouts that are forward, and now being forced to drop a quick archery range in defense. Good quick wall there. It does protect his economy to the southeast, but he is still fairly open on the south side, and those scouts, as well as that one archer and spearman, will be running around and trying to get an attack. Of course, the Max will be able to take any of these engagements right now. He does have a slight military lead at home, as there is still some military sitting in Jordan's base. The Max looking to engage with scouts where he can, trying to still stay away from that spear, but it was such low HP, unable to get a kill out of it, and he does pick off the spearman and the archer, and we are going into a little bit of a snowball. Let's see if Max can push his advantage, as he does have the military lead right now. He is slightly behind with villagers though, and that may cause a delay. Bloodlines now coming in for the Max. That will give a big advantage once that does come in, but there are 5 archers back here. Of course, once Bloodlines is in, he will want to take that engagement as soon as possible to take out those scouts before they get the upgrades, but will he be able to do it with fletching archers in behind? Unlikely at this point in time. 2 archery range production right now for Jordan, whereas the Max only at the 1. So he will be falling behind with archer production, but he is getting the upgrades for his scouts already. Now getting +1 armor, that will be able to give him quite a good advantage in any of these engagements. Wanting to run away from that spear, still not being comfortable engaging with the spear, even with the defense and bloodline upgrades. Toying with the idea right now of engaging with these archers, but those archers are just at too big of a mass for him to want to engage in, especially with a little bit of melee to negate them as well. But in this time, the Max has been able to fully wall up. He's not fully walled up in the south, still a little bit open, but protected on the north, on the west, and on the east. He will not need to worry at this point in time, but with the upgrade advantage, with the numbers advantage, the Max able to take the engagement, does take out a scout. Not quite the engagement he was hoping for, I'm sure, but these 9 archers in his wood line, they could get picked off, as he does have archers of his own, he does have scouts of his own, and with these archers and these scouts, he will be able to take this engagement very quickly. It's only 9 archers. They do have the exact same upgrades, 9 against 6, plus these 6 scouts. I would want to be taking this engagement quick. As Jordan has clicked up to the next age, he will be trying to get a little bit of an advantage where he can, and once these archers are crossbows, that will change the name of the game. Scouts choosing to engage. The archers of the Max are not quite in position at this point in time. Not a perfect engagement, but the Max able to still clean up quite a bit of Jordan's army. He does have the archer lead in this small engagement, but way more archers coming back for Jordan, and he will be able to push this forward back into the Max's base, as the Max still has not clicked up to Castle Age. Jordan 54% of the way up with a military advantage of 18 military against just the 15 of the Max. Going to 3 archery ranges now. is TheMax, whereas Jordan building his 4th right now. He will be trying to push his archer lead as much as possible as he denies that 3rd archery range. Of course, not being able to produce as many archers as Jordan is, and already having the smaller numbers, that will cause big delays. We are seeing some skirms getting added into this army that will be able to fight back against the archers. And right now, before these archers become crossbows, TheMax needs to start engaging. Will he lose a villager here? 1 goes down. That is it for that side. Caught out these few archers a little bit. But overall, lots of idle time for TheMax. Lots of wasted time for TheMax. And only palisade walls protecting against crossbows on the south side of his base. TheMax 72% of the way to the next age. And he is already going to be seeing cavalry archers and knights to fight against them. Of course, palisades just melting away to the crossbows. A tower going up in defense with these walls to the gold pile that will protect his economy quite a bit. But once knights and skirms come in, even the cavalry archers, that could cause problems, as right now there is no safe wood line that is out of range of Jordan's upgrades. Now they are both at exactly 25 for their military, but the military of Jordan being just that much better, as crossbows only just now coming in for TheMax. Jordan with such a big advantage. With 4 villager lead at this point in time, TheMax is definitely on the back foot. Very good of him to clean up this army in the south side. He now does have a slight military lead as he is being surrounded. And they switch into cavalry archers with knights. It does make sense when playing as the Huns, but he will need to add skirmishers in, because obviously the skirmisher crossbow army of TheMax will be able to take out cavalry archers and knights of Jordan. But this mobility of this force here is going to be the big difference maker. Max smartly, very smartly, walling up with stone walls in behind his palisades, will want to protect his woodlines as much as possible, as he is moving with his main force of his army on the exact opposite side of the map. Unable to do too much. He does have 4 cavalry archers coming in defense. They do have slightly better upgrades for TheMax. He does have +2 defense, only +1 right now for Jordan. And a quick engagement here, still just regular skirmishers, not yet elite for TheMax. We do see elite skirms already in for the Hun player. And here we have it, with the sight of cavalry, archers, as well as knights. The switch has begun, and we will see the Indian camels start to come out. Camel skirmisher, very strong against most civilizations, as there's not too much that can negate both of those militarily. TheMax choosing to go for only 1 town center right now. And if we take a look at Jordan, he does have 2 town centers. So he is continuing to build up his villager lead. He's also ahead in military. So Jordan with the advantage right now. He does have safe access to woodlines, which is something that TheMax just does not have at this point in time. And TheMax, a town center to protect some golds, some wood, would be very, very helpful for him at this point in time, as his base is not protected at all. And we do see camels already coming out. I wonder if there is a little bit of a gameplay in only sending those 2 to be seen. But 41 military now for Jordan. That is huge as his third town center goes up. Typically, I would assume that the Indians have the better economy, but right now, just the one town center for the Max is not enough to keep up with the Hun production. And this big mass of 32 military hitting another wood line of the Max. Such wasted time. Even with the villager disadvantage, the Max has been just harassed on all of his wood lines. He did have a great map to start out with, but one thing to note is the safe backwood for Jordan that was untouched this entire time. That did help out his map quite a bit, having that good corner. And right now we do see the Max going forward. He is going to try to do some sort of counterattack. He has Cavalry Archer running around trying to engage where possible. However, we'll see exactly how much damage he can do as Jordan is fully walled and he does see this army running around. He is almost in to the base of the Max, and once this military's in, if it doesn't get cleaned up first, big mistake there from Jordan, not seeing that he was getting attacked on that side, probably focused on other sides. Jordan now going to his fourth town center. He is looking to outboom where possible. And these camels, not strong against archers, but able to do just a little bit of extra damage, especially against the skirmishers once they get close. And so once the skirmishers get cleaned up by camels, these skirmishers that are coming over will be able to clear out the cavalry archers, being the natural counter, of course. In the meantime, this army of the Max has been cleaned up by Jordan. And as we see here, Jordan, 1, 2, 3, 4 town centers playing as the Huns. He has a 34 villager lead right now. Also has the military lead. Seems like at this point Max has to do something to change things around. The Max, obviously well known for being a very top late game player. He does, in his team games, he does have the reputation of being the player that has the boom. Massive TCs, hidden TCs, always go into corners to find resources. But Jordan just building up such a good economy right now and out-maneuvering and out-massing militarily. As there's not too much right now that the Max can do to catch up to Jordan. Jordan has just played such a perfect game up to this point. There are 2 TCs now for the Max. Just dropped his second. That does protect this wood line. It also does protect a little bit of the gold, but the Max calls it. That is GG for the 2 of them. And overall, just a perfectly executed Hun play by Jordan.